it's easy to take pot shots at the education system, and personally, I like to keep things positive and optimistic, and therefore I have to recognise that the education system can only teach so much. The importance of the education system is to get children to, or encourage children to critically examine everything that they learn, and then to unlearn everything that they own. So that's my expectation of the education system. What I don't think it does well enough is encourage young people to really look beyond descriptions of slavery as a then help them to go research the answer to the question. I think the education system struggles to in a way, it comes back to the original question about sort of what is the change that we're trying to affect. I would say that going through the school system, I probably wasn't the most confident person. When I was kind of back in the class, sort of reluctant to put my hand up. Through my research and through what I found out about my ancestors, the environment in which they had to survive, and then what I found out about the contribution to slavery, and then what I found out